Hindi naman natin marinig.
Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sun said it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter.
Yes, hello, good evening, good day everyone, and welcome to Vlogmas day number 29. Day number 30. All right, Vlogmas day 30. My goodness, it's almost done. Vlogmas 2022 is almost done. And our last guest for the year, okay, last but not the least is actually a very known person in the community. She is a great artist and crafter at the same time. So KM actually is a full-time mom and self-taught artist. She fell in love with card making that also led her to alcohol inks and mixed media. She's into clean and simple cards but can also work with complex things such as alcohol inks and the use of different mediums when making her cards or art journal pages. And recently, she became one of the admins for CCSC or Craft Create and Swap Club. She's also doing workshops for different craft stores locally. Her goal is to teach, share, and hopefully inspire others about her passion. So that others will also learn and discover the world of crafting and arts. Again, alam natin, napakamahiyain ng ating guest. But para sa inyong lahat, she agreed to come in tonight for a short, interview. So without further ado, let's bring in, several times. I think this is her second time on Mommy Guide Inc., KM Heartmade or KM Calantas. Hi, Miss KM! Hello!
Hello everyone. Good evening.
Ayan. Hello. Okay, so nakakain ka na ba? Have you had dinner, Miss KM?
Not yet.
Hindi pa. Oo, kinabahan si Miss KM. Sabi niya, okay, mag-aano muna ako, interview muna bago siya kakain tonight. Ayan. So again, thank you, Miss KM. All right. So KM, I think I've known KM for several years now. And the first time I actually got to really communicate with you, KM, was during the time na, I think, was it prior to the pandemic? Yes, prior to the pandemic, nagkaroon tayo ng malaking bagyo. Diba? I forgot ko anong bagyo na yon eh. And then Sam, my daughter, si Super Floop in the chat, decided to do, she's part of this organization, NGO for, mga college students they decided to create a parang card drive. So sabi niya, she asked for my help. And so I asked the community, and you were one of the very firsts to actually jump in on that, card drive. You actually sent, I think, is it 25 or 30 cards, if I'm not mistaken. 'Di ba?
Parang around
Oo,
that time.
ganon kadami yung cards na binigay niya for that, and all the proceeds po nung card drive na yan went to yung beneficiary po nung kanilang So yung mga taga Marikina, and then meron ding animal shelter in Bulacan. So that's my initial, get to know Miss KM. Ano lang yon, sa chat lang kami, ganyan. Gusto ko pong mag-donate, paano po ba, ganyan. Oh, and then eventually, yun na. So, nakilala na ko na si Miss KM dahil and after that, nagkaroon ng event si Nenet, My Little Attic, 'di ba? So, nagkaroon ng contest si Alton U. I remember, right? Oo. And then, sumali si KM. Oh, 'di ba? Of course, nanalo ka na naman do. 'Di ba? Oo. So, yun, doon ko nakita talaga yung galing ni Miss KM, kasi yung mga cards niya na mga dinonate niya po for the card drive was really a combination of many different, some were clean and simple, some were a little bit more mixed media ang dating, ganyan. Oo. So, Miss KM, how did you actually start, creating this wonderful, of course, hindi lang card ang ginagawa mo, di ba? But how was your journey towards this amazing, arts and crafts na we are all in right now? Where did it all start?
My dun po ba sa card making or
Oo, yung
art
journey
in
mo muna,
general?
yung journey mo in general, like sa arts, sa
Okay.
crafts.
Okay po. So my love for art started during my childhood days when I witnessed my dad doing commission portraits, charcoal paintings, watercolor, and pastel artworks. He spent his free time on weekends in front of his easel, and which I usually enjoy watching because he's
Mm-mm.
not just doing paintings, he's actually teaching me paano yung ganitong stroke, ano yung best color to mix with this one. So, yun po yung pinaka-bonding namin. We rarely go out, but we enjoy yung mga practice sketches. Yung pagpa-practice ko po ng pag-mix ng colors, picking ng colors at that young age. In-expose ako ng dad ko sa world of art. I remember him getting yung the best brushes on the market, one at a time, kasi they're too expensive.
Expensive.
And, opo. And so I'm honored na mamana ko yung mga brushes na yun when I went to high school. And they're still with me.
Aww.
Yes, opo. Those are my treasures then. He taught me to invest on quality tools kasi di po, yun nga, they're built to last strong. So yun din po yung ina-apply ko with my craft tools. And after that po, after my childhood days, medyo nag-skip ako sa arts and crafts kasi medyo naging grade conscious ako pagdating sa school.
So, ACADS naman. ACADS muna.
Yes naman po, academic naman. Pero during my academic days naman, I'm still somewhat na-exposed din sa arts, but more on performing arts. Nag-direct po ako ng Les Miserables na Broadway sa school. So, medyo in line pa rin. So, sumasayo po. Nagko-compete. Parang, I forgot, interdivision po yata yung tawag doon. So, mga different school from different regions nagko-compete.
So, you dance, you act, or behind the scenes lang yung acting. Pero you dance, ha?
That's it.
Hindi nawawala yon, KM. Lagot!
Ano po, hindi yung mga pop and rock, ganyan. Interpretative, more of like...
Oh my, mas mahirap yun.
Medyo malapit po siya sa ballet, mga ganun.
Wow, so talaga palang whole package si Miss KM, no? Pero that is so, inspiring to know that you're showing us how, as parents, 'di ba, what you do really impacts, or what we do impacts yung ating mga kids. So on your part, you grew up seeing your dad, painting and doing a lot of artworks, and naging parang bonding time nyo, 'di ba? And actually, for those who do not know, ganun din si KM, no, with Caris, 'di ba? Palagi nga namin niloloko si Caris, 'di ba, na college na, college bound na. Kasi po, actually, mas magaling pa siya okay, like sa akin, mas magaling pa siya mag-drawing, mas magaling pa siya mag-color, 'di ba? Kasi nga po, nakikita din niya sa mom niya, kay KM. And ini-expose mo din, 'di ba, si Caris dun sa ginagawa mo. So, kumbaga, merong material si KM, meron din para dun sa daughter niya. Oo. So, hindi niya inaano na, this is, no, you don't do this, 'di ba? Ini-explore nila together itong arts and crafts. So, it has been a very long journey thus far. So, nag-start with actual art, drawing, painting, and then high school, you went to the performing arts naman. Okay, sabi ko nga, whole package ito, left brain, right brain, kompleto na ito. O, 'di ba? Oo. 'Di ba? How to be you, Miss KM. Oh, just kidding. All right. Oo. And so eventually, okay, so when did you finally, parang ano ka na, no, nag 360, no, nagbalik ka ulit sa art, okay, sa painting. Okay, so when did this start? And then also, like as I said, I met you, card maker ka na, 'di ba? Oo, isa na 'yun sa kumbaga business ni Miss KM. Oo. So paano po 'yun nag-transition?
In 2017, nagkaroon kami ng pagkakataon na makapagbakasyon sa Norway. Since my husband was assigned dun po sa Norway. So, during that time, ang nakakatawa kasi, bukod sa mga pabilin na dadalhin ko doon, meron akong dalang isang set ng watercolors, brushes, and watercolor papers na ako naman, hindi ko rin alam if magagamit ko ba siya talaga. Pero kasi somehow I need to show or release yung creativity ko pag especially with a foreign place na hindi ko naman alam kung saan ako magsistay if on regular days. So dun yung nag-start, and then I started watching mga watercolor videos. I tried also calligraphy, pero kasi yung control ko, medyo nahihirapan ako sa control. And then, in 2018, I stumbled upon Jennifer McGuire's YouTube videos. Opo, yes. Siyang pinaka-influencer ko. I was pregnant with Caris during that time, and I was put in complete bed rest. So, yung iPad lang po ang kasama ko. Aside from playing online games, I started watching YouTube videos ng card making. Yes. So, I'm actually not a fan of YouTube before. Kasi noon hindi pa siya ganito di ba, ka-open or ka-vast ng mga showcase ng mga tutorials. So, hindi ako ganun ka-fan ng YouTube before. Kasi super workaholic din po ako. So, I don't have enough time para mag-watch ng mga videos. Pero, yun nga po, nung nabuntis ako, tas I was put in complete bed rest, na-expose ako sa world of card making and crafting. Tapos din na po yun nag-start.
Yung pala yun. Oo. So, you fell into the rabbit hole of card making as well. Ayan, bigla ako nag-freeze. Natakot ako. Biglang nag-freeze ako. Nakagala. Alright. Oo. So, totoo yun, no? Si Jennifer McGuire kasi talaga, she was actually a scrapbooker, and then eventually she transitioned to card making, and isa siya talaga sa kumbaga who really pushed the card making into where it is right now. So thank you so much, Miss Jennifer McGuire, if ever you get to see this. So you have influenced a lot of Filipino crafters into this wonderful art of and craft of card making. Oo. So ngayon, sabi ko nga, KM, the way you do your art or your craft, somehow there's a very distinct KM Heartmade there. Alam mo yon? So, when I see your work, alam mo yon, right now, at this point, of course, nung umpisa, hindi ko pa alam. But as you get to see yung mga work ni KM, now na, meron ka ng, parang somehow makikita mo may trademark. Oo. So, alam ko, ay, si KM to. Gawa ni KM to. Oo. So, nagkakaroon na ng, kumbaga, maybe you started, sabi mo nga, na-inspire ka lang ni Jennifer Maguire, ganyan, 'di ba? But eventually, how were you able to find your niche and made, your art and your craft your own?
Actually, nung sinabi niyo po na nade-determine niyo agad if gawa ko yun, ako po kasi hindi ko rin po siya ma-determine as of the moment kung kung sa akin ba yun. Kasi po parang ang vast pa nung style ko. I'm still trying to figure out kung ano yung talagang style ko. Kasi there are a lot of styles as an artist. Pwede kasi, tulad nga po yun, clean and simple. Pwede ka maging complex. So, until now, I'm still trying to figure out. But I'm happy to know po na you were able to
Oh,
recognize kung ano po
yes.
yung mga
Oo.
gawa ko.
Okay, so number one, it's very, like mixed media can be very messy and magulo. But the way you do it, there is still, a certain rhyme and reason to the mess. Alam niyo yon? Hindi lang basta itinapon na ganyan. Oo. So, when you get to see, you have to see a lot of KM's work to be able to actually understand what I'm saying eh. Oo. So, but sabi nga ni KM, kasi siya yung artist, continuously nag-change din siya, nag-improve, nag-evolve, right? Pero for now, for those that we've seen so far, alam ko paggawa ni KM, especially kapag alcohol ink, yan, tsaka mga clean and simple. Speaking of this, I've been talking about clean and simple, mixed media, alcohol ink. Okay, so I know that these are just three of the many, okay, things that you can do, okay? But what somehow, 'di ba, kasi kami in our community, medyo doon ka namin na kumbaga na-associate when it comes to clean and simple, mixed media, and alcohol ink. Oo. So why these three things, KM? Bakit kaya? Okay, so why
Um,
somehow na kumbaga na ito yung parang nakikita namin na pagdating sa ganitong klaseng technique or style, parang ikaw yung nagiging peg namin.
siguro po, with the three po kasi, for example po, if medyo nahihirapan ako when it comes to elements, when it comes to layers, I go for clean and simple. And when I feel like I have a lot of supplies, tapos hindi ko nagagamit, okay, mag-mix media tayo. Tapos po, and when I feel like I wanted to create something na medyo parang deep, I go with alcohol ink art. So, among the three, I would say yung alcohol ink art po talaga yung pinaka-love ko. Kasi po, I've spent so much time, effort, and supplies, not to mention my savings, to learn
Oo.
everything about it and put
Yes,
them into
oo.
practice.
Kasi hindi po siya ganon ka. You may have all the alcohol ink in the world. Oo. Oh, di ba? Pero that doesn't guarantee that you're gonna be a great alcohol ink artist, no? So sabi nga ni KM, maraming oras ang ginugol niya. Okay, maraming research, maraming trial and error for her to actually be able to create her amazing alcohol ink art. Okay, so I know you guys are now wanting to, can we just see some of her work? Okay, guys, so eto na. Okay, so we will ask KM to actually showcase some of her, clean and simple, mixed media, and then alcohol ink art, okay, projects in the past or probably now or current. But in the process as well, Miss KM, baka pwede din naming itanong more or less, 'di ba? Ano yung proseso? Paano to? Ganyan, ganyan. All
Sige po.
right, let's do this, Miss KM.
Okay.
Ayan.
So this one is an example of a clean and simple card. So as you can see, um, uh, cast card actually means clean and simple. So it is one technique or style in card making um, sometimes mahirap siyang gawin because ang tendency kasi natin when we have a lot of supplies is to put them all in the card. So with clean and simple card, you need to be patient and have control. So uh, the characteristics of a clean and simple card, first is there's a lot of negative space. Negative space means an empty space around an element. And so I love putting a negative space on my creations as well as in my alcohol ink art because it is where my eyes and my emotions can breathe. Kasi kapag medyo colorful, ganyan, sometimes it is too overwhelming for my eyes and for my interpretation to handle. So, yeah. Another is no messy or very colorful background. So as you can see here, meron lang tayong one color na two colors actually, yung red and yung light blue. So this is actually an interactive card kasi nagwo-wobble yung element. Itong
Mm.
Yeti, yes po. So kaya siya parang may shadow kasi medyo nakaangat siya. And there are no there are minimal to no embellishments and minimal to no layers. So, clean and simple cards, minsan stamp lang, element, color, and then sentiment. That's it.
Oo. Okay, so hold kita dyan, Miss KM, ha? Okay. So imagine, so yung clean and simple, sometimes people think, pag clean and simple, parang, ay, ayoko yan, sobrang dali. Parang baka hindi maganda. Pero, di ba, yun yung misconception, no? Na if it's clean and simple, kumbaga, it's so easy. Actually, guys, hindi. Clean and simple is actually a little bit hard to do kasi if not done properly, 'di ba? It really looks fine, kind of lacking, 'di ba? Oo. Oo, pero yun nga, so maganda yung sinabi mo, Miss KM, no? So kailangan even though when you say clean and simple, so close to yung almost simple or no layering. Okay, tapos almost minimal or no embellishment. Oo. Pero how can it work? 'Di ba? How will it work na maging maganda siya, impactful despite it being a clean and simple? Like yung mga ano kasi yun yung napakahirap gawin eh. 'Di ba? Yung paano mo gagawing maganda ito kung ito lang ang gagamitin ko? Yan. So ano ang magiging advice natin diyan, Miss KM?
Papasok po dyan yung pag-layout ninyo ng mga elements within dun po sa pinaka-canvas ninyo. So, we use yung rule of thirds as well as yung rule of odds. So, for example po, you have flowers, ganyan. If you want it to be appealing or magandang composition, you use 1 or 3 flowers. And if you want to place your element, you may place it dun po sa using yung rule of thirds natin.
Katulad
So,
dito, Miss KM, itong Need a Hug na card mo ngayon na nakikita namin. Oo. This is
yes
a
po.
very nice card. So how is it that such a very simple one can, napakaganda? So what did you do here in this card?
For this card po, I just did ink blending as a shadow po nung Yeti. And then stamp and colored yung Yeti and just stamp it. Nag-add lang po ako ng wobble mechanism para po somehow meron siyang may yung pagka-interactive po.
Oh, 'di ba? So again, 'di ba? So ay, nasaan na si KM?
Sorry po.
Nawala. Ayan, oo. So, again, clean and simple. In anything, 'di ba? I think this is one of the things I remember from you, KM, no, na try lang gawa ng gawa para masanay. Oo, kaya in one of the workshops we had, I think it was last year during Paper Stock Festival was the time that you actually introduced us finally. Because we always mention clean and simple, but we never really, knew about, the theory behind. So what you are saying right now, na-realize ko na actually the clean and simple and yung mga although it's clean and simple, we can borrow, the things that you do as an artist sa yung mga nasa art world. Okay, applicable din sa crafting. 'Di ba? So sabi nga ni KM, rule of thirds sa photography, meron din 'yan, 'di ba? So it also works in our crafts and card making. Ayan, sis KM, nakakalimutan ko na ang chat. Okay, basahin mo na saglit. Okay, so ayan. So sabi ni Superflu, woohoo, Miss KM, I'm a fan. Yes, totoo yan, KM. And yes, hello, good evening, yes. And Yet is saying hi to everybody. And of course, Tina, hi everyone. And of course, Miss Mary, mega love shout out Miss Mary. Ayan, see you Miss Mary tomorrow. Ang aking palaro for New Year ay matutuloy na din po. OMG, direct pala dapat tawag namin sa'yo, Miss K. Direct. Direct K. Ang dami pwede, di ba? Oo. And Miss Wims, hello Miss Wims. Ayan, so actually, medyo yung journey mo at saka Miss Wims, medyo pareho, no? Pareho kayong artist, di ba? Na, now, artist crafter na din. Ayan. Yes. And of course, we have Judy. Hi, Judy. Good evening, everyone. And of course, si Crafterny. Hi to everyone. And Miss Ves. Hi, Miss Ves. Mega love shout out po. And good evening. And of course, Roy. Thank you so much, Roy, for dropping by. I know you're on your way to work. Or is it a holiday already for you guys? Thank you so much, Roy. And of course, we have G. Hi, G. Ayan. Basta kulay blue gawa ni KM. Oo nga, 'di ba? May tendency nga yung mga blue. Totoo kaya, G. Oo. Although hindi ba lahat, pero medyo oo. Yan. Clean and simple. Anak hindi class. CAS. CAS lang. Clean and simple. Definitely my style. Actually, yun din ang hilig ni Sam. Oo. And hi, Roy. Hello to everyone who just hopped in. All right. So, moving back. Okay. So, we started out with clean and simple. Can we see some other samples, Miss KM, ng clean and simple?
Sure. Ito po, using the same stamp set, you will see ko yung kanina po, sorry, ayan. So this one, nasa gitna po yung element. The other one, nasa side. So, same stamp set, same element, different lang yung take ko kung paano ako nag-add ng background. So dito parang lang po ako, gumamit ako ng strip of paper na naka-curve like a hill, tapos po ako, ink blending, so para siyang nasa hill yung Yeti. And then, I added embellishments, pero po to, naka-foam tape lang siya. Yan.
Okay. So, si Yeti dito, hindi siya nagwa-wobble, naka-foam tape
Yes
lang siya
po.
dito. Oh, diba? So, basically, parang the same technique lang, no? Miss KM,
Yes.
so you played
Opo.
around with a little bit of color, a little bit of, texture in terms of may different height, 'di ba? Pero yung sentiment mo napaka-simple lang. 'Di ba? Wala nang kung ano-anong embellishment. So again, guys, so using the same stamp set, different look, clean and simple pa din. Ayan. So that's one of the kumbaga pag sinabing clean and simple, alam namin KM yan. Ayan. So, okay. So, also, on top of clean and simple, Miss KM, you also, sabi mo nga uhulihin natin si alcohol, no? Puntahan muna natin si mixed media. Sabi mo nga kapag medyo natatambakan ka na ng supplies, nahuhulog ka sa mga rabbit holes. So medyo pupunta ka ngayon sa mixed media. So, how did, you ended up, kasi for me, balik muna tayo dito. The way you make your backgrounds when you do your mixed media, blown away. So how do you do it? Like, how do you determine what colors would match? Okay, and then what kind of, ink or media you will use? Okay, so pwede ba ng konting malaman kung paano mo ito ginagawa, Miss KM?
Sure po. For mixed media, once I receive a supply, I always make sure na I create swatches. For example po, sa mga magical, so I create swatches. Ito po, let me grab some of my swatches.
Oo. Ayan. Mahilig tayo sa swatches, di ba? Yung pala, important pala yung may swatch ka, Miss KM. Oo,
Yes
bakit?
po, very
Why?
important.
What's the purpose of having a swatch
For
for the
example po,
different media? Okay,
sorry.
hold on.
Ayan. For example po
Solo
for
kita.
these, I will, ayan. So, ito po mga magicals.
Oo.
These are my swatches para po in case na I want to create something, it's easy for me to just check na, okay, bagay silang dalawa.
Ah.
Medyo super bright nito, parang ganun, for the theme or like, for example, kasi po magicals, di ba, may mga mix of
Oo.
colors. If sa
Yes.
powder lang, tapos hindi niyo po siya nasa swatch, you will be surprised kung ano yung magiging effect niya talaga once
Tapos parang
you
hindi
use
pala
it.
pwede, no? Or nagulat
Yes,
ka,
opo.
kaso patapos ka na, di ba? Nasira na. Okay. So, Miss
Yan. So,
KM, do you suggest that in all the different media, let's say whether it be watercolor or ink or what else? Acrylic? Pati ba acrylic sinaswatch? Hindi naman.
pwede po, opo.
Pwede
Pwede
din.
rin po.
Okay.
Kasi po may iba
Oo.
pong acrylic paints na transparent, may iba po iridescent. So,
Ah.
pag po mga ganun, you need din po swatches. Kasi, for example po, sa watercolor, if you're going to use a black, yung watercolor na paper,
Oo.
iba po yung effect ng mga shimmery na watercolor kapag sa black niyo po siya ginamit,
Ah.
pinaint compared sa mga white na watercolor paper.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yes, opo,
Nako, nagkaroon
kailangan
ako
po
ng
may swatches.
inspiration. Siguro we should have an episode where gagawa lang tayong swatch para mapilitan
Yes.
tayong gumawa ng swatch. 'Di ba? Kasi that's one thing I don't have. Oo, 'di ba? Wala akong swatch of anything. Kaya pag nagaano, hindi ko rin lang totoo yung sinasabi ni Miss KM. Hindi mo alam kung anong kalalabasan yan kasi 'di ba? Pag iniba mo yung base paper mo, kunwari white siya or craft siya or black siya, so pwedeng iba yung itsura no nung color or medium na gagamitin mo. All right, so that's one technique. Oo, so palagi kang gumagawa ng swatch. Okay, so ano pa po, Miss KM? So when you create your mixed media projects?
Aside from swatch po for different mediums na iba-iba yung colors, I also make swatches po for different yung mediums. For example, there are crackle paste, modeling paste, grit paste. Kailangan you also make swatches of those para you will be able to determine how long siya bago mag-dry, if isa-stamp ko ba on top of it, kakapit po ba yung ink. So, there are a lot of trial and error na kailangan gawin para po somehow you get to familiarize um, on yung characteristic ng mga mediums na meron kayo or use the supplies. Kung for example, is it good for water, for wet technique or dapat dry lang siya? For example po, if you have yung mga finabear na mga wax, dapat since wax siya, last na siya, ilalagay or yung top layer na siya. Kasi if nilagay mo po siya at first and then papatungan mo ng ibang medium, hindi na po siya kakapit kasi ire-repel ng
Madulas
wax
na.
yung medium na ilalagay nyo on top of it. So, aside from making swatches, you need to get to familiarize yung mga mediums na meron po kayo on hand.
Oo. Correct. So, characteristic din, no? So, para sa ng wax, para sa ang acrylic, para sa ng watercolor, saan siya pwedeng gawin? Anong pwede mong i-mix and match? So, sabi nga ni Miss KM, minsan trial and error. Even siya, okay, na may background na, okay, maski pa paano dahil nga ang dad niya, okay, ay, although hindi talaga siya nag-aral ng like, fine arts or anything like that. Nasa sciences po siya. Pero because she grew up, okay, knowing, ang dad niya is doing art, so, na-familiarize niya. But still, 'di ba, inaaral pa din. Oo. So, may konti pa rin. So, kailangan din talaga natin yung homework natin. So, kumbaga, gumawa, get to know the medium, 'di ba? Oo. So, hindi lang yung shopping natin. Oo, tapos
Hindi lang
ilalagay mo
add
na
to
dyan.
cart.
Oo, hindi
Opo.
lang add to cart, tsaka yung check out, 'di ba? Oo, kaya ilalagay sa shelf, decoration. Oo, hindi. Kailangan makakita tayo ng output. Oo, kaya nga
Yeah.
natutuwa po ako. One of the things, kasi ako admittedly naman, I've been telling everybody na talagang I've been a hoarder for a very, very long time. That's why I am so blessed na, we had crafty nights kasi even the times na, alam niyo yun, I don't like drawing, I don't like, anything that has to do with anything that's art kasi I really am not good at it. I may have all the supplies, okay? Not all, but a lot of supplies, but I've never really, created anything kasi nga scared, di ako marunong. But part of that is because I never really spent enough time to get to know the medium, make swatches, 'di ba? So paano ka naman gagaling? Paano mo naman makakagawa? Ay hindi mo nga ginagawa. 'Di ba? O sino mga guilty diyan? No, taas-taas ang kamay diyan. Sino mga team kasama ko diyan? O 'di ba? So 'yun, oo. 'Di ba? So imagine si KM nga grew up with all of the knowledge and nakaka-create na siya pero still 'di ba? Hindi siya nag-e-end na hanggang diyan na lang. Okay, so pina-practice pa rin niya, gumagawa pa rin siya, nagta-trial and error so that she can finally come up with a formula, so to speak, or strategy na kapag gusto ko ito pala ang dapat kong gamitin. So, napakagandang tips and techniques. Ayan. Alright, so
Also,
basahin
Miss
lang natin
Gala,
ulit. Yes, Miss KM, sorry.
also po, kapag po kasi you do yung mga trial and error, so parang nag-experiment ka, you get
Mm-mm.
to somehow ma-discover yung additional uses ng mga medium or yung supplies na meron ka. If for example, you have a certain vellum, tapos hindi naman naka-indicate na it is good for heat embossing, but when you tried it, okay naman pala. So, somehow you discover na, this brand of vellum works good with heat embossing too, other than
Mm-mm.
stamping lang.
O, 'di ba? So yun eh. So initially, we know watercolor is what it's for, ano yung dapat gawin. Pero sabi nga ni KM, when you experiment, when you do trial and error, you discover some things like probably 'di ba yung ating favorite, 'di ba, na si Jennifer Maguire. Why is she able to come up with many other ways to actually use all of this craft and art materials? Kasi nagta-trial and error siya, 'di ba? Nagte-check, 'di ba? Tina-try din niya. Ayan. And guys, sabi ni Giga Art, okay, road to 1,000 subscribers, KM Heartmade. Ayan, with a link. Oo, so guys, if you are not yet, if you're coming in on replay or first time here on Mommy Guide Inc. and we're featuring KM and you are not yet following her on her YouTube channel or her other socials, nandyan po sa baba. Okay, so kindly follow her po so you'll know what we are talking about. And also, she is also on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, and of course, on YouTube. All the links are in the description of this video at saka ayan po, umaandar na rin at nilapag na rin ni Gigi. Ayan. And Crafties Marie, sabi ni Giga Art, salamat. Yes, siya yung winner sis nung pen. Drawing pen. Yes, show her channel some love, sabi ni Super Floop. Ayan, and everybody is nagpe-prepare dun sa pouring eh. Hindi naghahanapan sila kung saan makakahanap. Oo. So I hope KM makasama ka din namin on Monday kay Tina. Oo, kung meron ka nung material. Oo, nakahanap ka na ba?
Apo, bibili pa. Meron po ako nung Himi na pouring set, kaso wala pa akong canvas. So,
Canvas
yun po
na lang.
bibili ako
Ay,
bukas.
madali na yun.
Meron
Ayan.
namang art bar sa SM.
Okay, so guys Monday, okay, 8 p.m. sa channel po ni Tina One Kenobi. So, nininervyos ako kasi mga kasama, okay, pero hindi. Okay lang yan. Oo. Mas magaganahan
Excited na
ka nga
kami.
kasi, di ba, kasama mo yung marurunong, di ba? Makikigaya na lang ako. Di ba? That's how it starts. Gagaya ka muna. And then make it your own, di ba, eventually. So, balikan natin to, Miss KM, yung napakaganda mong, okay, this is a sample of a mixed media project. Oo. So, when you say mixed media, for those lang, Miss KM, na what they don't know, what do you mean by mixed media? Yan.
Basically, from the term itself po, it's a mix of different mediums. So you can use your stamp, your coloring materials, embossing powder, pigment powders, ephemeras, paper cutouts, like this one po. Yan. So this one po is actually an art journal page. I remove it from the from the spring po dun sa journal para mas may
Mm-mm.
control ako dun sa pag-create. So I use
Mm-mm.
pigment powders for this one. And then I added modeling paste, yung may honeycomb po na stencil.
Aha. Subtextured yan. Oo.
Yes po, textured. Kasi po, if you know me po, I love textures, I love
Yes.
depths, I love yung, um, gusto ko po kasi pag hinawakan siya,
Oo. Katulad
masarap
niyan,
sa
'di ba?
pakiramdam.
Oo, katulad niyan guys, nakikita niyo 'di ba? So, yes, ang daming media na ginamit, no? So, merong texture paste, may stamp, may inking, may ganyan. Pero when you look at it, it's very cohesive. 'Di ba? Hindi siya yung parang walang kumbaga except for of course kung sino yung focal point niya. 'Di ba? Oo. So, yun Miss KM, when you create mixed media, what is like your go-to process? Meron ba? Or iba-iba talaga per creation? Or meron kang like, I need to have texture paste, I need to have a little bit of inking, stamping. May ganun ka bang process when you do your mixed media projects?
For my mixed media po, ay pumipiyok na. For my mixed media po, basta po I always make sure na meron akong texture and a mix or burst of colors. Yung colors po that are not too striking. So, mapapansin niyo po yung mga colors ko are colors of nature. Kasi po, yun po yung madaling i-combine together.
Mm.
For example po, ito, blue, brown, a bit of green, and white. Yan. So, yung may splatter ng white, parang hindi yan KM Heartmade pag walang splatter.
Oo, parang yun yung last no? Yung last step. Oo. At saka
Yes,
yung
para
hindi lang yun, yung kailangan may parang palaging, what do you call that? Yung mix mo ng color, blending.
up.
'Di ba? Oo. In either the whole canvas or definitely splashes of sabi mo nga color here and there. Oo.
Up.
Yan. So again, so when you do your mixed media project, most of the time it's for your art journal. What other projects do you actually apply yung mixed media process?
Okay. So, dito po, cover naman po siya ng art journal page. Dito po I use a tissue paper. So, strips of tissue paper, layer it on top of the cover, and added yung texture paste na para po siyang, ano ba to, crackle. And
Oo.
then, I use po yung mold ng Stamperia. So, this one po, I demo during
This year,
the
Paper Stock
this year
Festival.
po, before the paper stock po.
Ayan.
So,
O sige, i-ano
yun
lang
po.
natin, Miss KM, wag mo munang ituloy. Babalikan natin yon. Oo. So guys, if you actually want to see how Miss KM actually created that amazing, project, head on over to Paper Stock Festivals. It's an FB group po of Paper Stock Festivals, part of Kira Crafts po yan. That is their events page po and community page. So, makikita nyo po doon, tinuro po yan ni KM step by step. Oo, free naman pong mag-join doon, wala pong bayad. Okay, so that you can see, talaga step by step tinuro po niya yan. Kaya lahat ng tao na napabili na. Okay, yun lang. Oo, pero naman po kasi napakaganda talaga. So continue natin, Miss KM. Sorry po sa sa
Ano yan po.
pagbati. There you go.
Ayan. Tas, aside from the modeling paste and the air dry clay, I also use, kung mapapansin niyo po yung mga parang radar or clocks dito sa gilid, those were
Mm-mm.
actually stained with vintage antiquing paste from Stamperia. So, siya naman po para may pagka-oil base. So, na hindi siya pwedeng patungan ulit ng another medium kasi i-repel lang din po niya. So, ayan po yung
Kaya
parang
dulo
may
siya. Oo.
vintage.
Grabe no, Miss KM, kung titignan niyo po, so originally lahat ng mga yan parang puti lang, 'di ba? O kung ano yung original color ng paper. Pero eventually ngayon mukha na talaga siyang vintage, 'di ba? Oo, pero it didn't really look that way in the beginning. Kaya po talagang napakaganda po actually nitong mixed media process na ito. Pero it takes a little bit of, learning how to actually create. Oo, just like in clean and simple, kailangan mo ding mag-experiment, 'di ba, Miss KM?
Yes po.
Ayan.
Tapos, Miss Lala, share ko
Yes
lang.
po.
Another tip for choosing your color. So, mapapansin niyo po yung
Ayan.
ginamit ko ditong mga elements. So, ito pong si Lady Vagabond, tapos yung
Mm-mm.
chest, tapos po itong
Mm-mm.
parang yung pinaka-sentiment niya. Mapapansin niyo po yung colors niya coordinates with the color ng background. I didn't
Mm.
add another color that is hindi wala po dun sa elements. Kasi gusto ko po siya maging coherent.
Mm.
So, hindi
So
po ako
that's one
gumamit ng
technique.
blue, hindi ako gumamit
Mm.
ng pink or purple. Ayan.
Yeah. So that's one tip na naman po from Miss KM, no? So if you wanna play it safe, lalo na kung hindi pa tayo magaling with color combinations and stuff, you can never go wrong with, doing similar colors within your background or within your element. So dapat kung may cohesiveness, tama po ba yon, Miss KM?
Yes po. Like po, Miss Lala,
Yan.
when you're doing your scrapbooking, tapos you have your
Mm.
pictures as your
Oo.
elements po, di ba?
Yes.
So, kung ano po yung mga colors na nandun sa picture,
Doon ako naglalaro.
yes, po,
Yes. Totoo
yung best na
yun.
maging colors ng background or other elements within the page po.
Yes. So even though, let's say, kunwari sa scrapbooking, no? Kasi yan yung medyo alam ko. Oo. So maski na parang hindi okay yung mga colors dun sa photo kasi hindi naman sila, kumbaga, nagpo-follow ng color theory. But kasi nandun sa photo. So kapag
Opo.
ginamit mo siya, maski pa paano, nagiging okay. Okay. So that's another tip, 'di ba? Again, for those who don't know how to really combine colors yet. But eventually, sabi nga ni KM, you will get to know how to do it. Ayan. So, yan. Hello, Raven Fox 13. Thank you so much for dropping by po. Ayan. May tawag po ba sa style nyo, Miss KM? Ayan. This one.
Yung style po for this one, may pagka-vintage na grungy, yung grungy yung
Ayan, oo. Yan ba yung
feeling.
grungy ang tawag? Yan,
Grungy.
tinatanong nga ni Miss. So it's a combination vintage or grungy. Oo, so pwede. Oo.
Steampunk, parang ganun po.
Ayan, oo, steampunk. Ayan, yan pa yung mga kasi meron din siyang parang pag sinabi mong steampunk, yan yung parang merong mga metal, di ba? May mga gears. Since may mga
Gears.
susi, di ba? So pwede ring, tsaka yung color, di ba? Oo.
Yes po.
Ayan. So, ayan. Hi,
Again, earth colors po yung ginamit ko.
yes. Earth color. So, ayun nga, no? So, paminsan, hindi naman masama na meron kang go-to color, go-to technique, as long as it works. Diba? And then, eventually, you get to be known for it. Okay. So, we talked about clean and simple na journey. And then, we talk about yung mixed media. Okay. So, nakita nyo naman po, maski na clean and simple, mixed media. Ang ganda po rin po, 'di ba? Lahat maganda. Ito na blown away na kayo sa susunod natin papakita. All right, so finally, sabi nga ni Miss KM kanina in the beginning, out of the three, her favorite talaga is alcohol art. Okay, ink. Ano 'yon, Miss KM?
Yung alcohol ink art po uses alcohol ink as the main medium po. So if for example, acrylic painting, you use acrylic paints. So for this one po, for alcohol ink, you use alcohol ink. Alcohol-based ink. Apo.
Okay, alcohol-based ink. Okay. So, ayan. Yan po ay isang sample. How big is that one, Miss Kay?
This is a 9 by 12 po ayata, I think. 9 by 12 inches. Tapos this is actually, first ko po na practice. Sa canvas po ako nag-try since wala pa po ako nun ng synthetic paper. So, yan po yung parang first try.
Grabe. Canvas, hindi pa yan yung suggested media. Okay, tapos, di ba, first time pero ang ganda pa rin. Di ba? In fairness. Okay, so from your very first try using just on canvas, okay, so ano nang sumunod, Miss KM?
So, and then po, nakagamit po ako ng UPO paper, which is locally available. Kasi po, most ng supplies po ng ginagamit sa alcohol ink painting, hindi siya available locally. So, yung mga alcohol ink ko po, nabili ko lang siya from a Distash group. And then, yung other supplies ko po, I ordered internationally. So medyo
Mm.
masakit po siya sa bulsa.
Oo, sabi nga 'di ba niya yung kumbaga yan yung nakaubos ng savings konti. Oo, itong art na 'to, oo. Kasi hindi din naman po siya mura 'no, yung mismong, paper na ginagamit, okey, hindi ho kasi siya may mga techniques kasi, na hindi pupuwede sa canvas lang 'di ba, Miss KM? Kailangan talaga yung synthetic paper. And the synthetic paper hindi pa sila pare-pareho, 'di ba?
Yes
Pero
po.
mahal silang lahat. So imagine niyo po, for an artwork like yung ginagawa ni KM na ang lalaki. So imagine niyo yung amount of, raw materials in terms of the alcohol ink and the, canvas na kailangan niyang gawin. 'Di ba po? So kaya medyo kapag, o-order kayo nito, medyo may kamahalan. Pero naman kasi, 'di ba, lahat naman talaga ng ginamit dito ay napakaganda at medyo may price din, ayan. So ituloy natin si Miss KM. So katulad nitong pinapakita mo ngayon na napakaganda, 'di ba? Oo. So ilang color po ito?
I only use one color po, yung black and then yung gold po na
Gold.
alcohol ink. So ito po,
Okay.
nagpa-practice po ako ng yung favorite po na technique ni
Tina.
Miss Tina, which is yung creating ripples. Ayan, kung
Oo.
mapapansin niyo po may mga lines siya.
Oo.
Ayan. So medyo nagpa-practice pa po ako ng yun, control kung
Oo.
paano siya i-create.
Correct. So this was just practice pa lang. Ayan. Sige. Pwede pa po bang makakita ng mga ibang mga ibang images or photos? Ayan.
Sure po.
Saglit lang,
And
guys.
so this
Oh
one
my
po
God.
is actually entitled Black Dove. So mapapansin niyo po para siyang dove. Um, another ano po yan, golden po at saka yung black ink lang. So nagpa-practice lang po ako on how to use yung um, hair dryer kung para po makontrol ko somehow kung saan po
My
magpo-flow yung
gosh.
inks.
'Di ba? Alam nyo guys, parang akala nyo ang dali po nun. Para nga lang makagawa ng yung alam niyo yon yung makagawa lang ng ripple, makagawa lang ako ng maski konting ano, it takes me like forever. 'Di ba? So imagine actually drawing through using alcohol. Kumbaga yung watercolor, imagine na lang yung watercolor. 'Di ba? KM yung watercolor parang may sariling mundo. 'Di ba? Oo, kung gusto pumunta, 'di ba? Medyo ikaw ang a-adjust, 'di ba? So imagine mo yung alcohol ink, parang ganun. Tapos sa kanya, iba pa yung medium mo. Tapos meron ka pang mini-mix na ano na yun, blending solution, meron pang mga kung ano-ano pang add-ons, 'di ba, Miss KM? So talagang hindi siya ganun kadali. Pero for an artist like KM, that is actually parang for her napaka-challenging lalo na pag nagawa niya na. So can we see Miss KM some of your yung from yung mga practices mo, eto na ngayon. Ayan na.
Ayun. So ito po ay alcohol
Wow.
ink roses. Ayan.
Imagine nakakagawa siya ng painting using alcohol ink. Ang ganda, 'di ba?
Ayan. Ito po, 3 roses siya. If I'm not
Sold na yan,
mistaken,
'di ba,
kay
Miss
Miss
KM?
Susan po to.
Sold na 'to, 'di ba?
Yes po.
Kay Susan? Ito ba yung
Opo.
kay Susan? Yan. Kay Susan C na yan, guys. So, kung gusto nyo magpa-commission, pwede naman. Pero po, oo, sige, Miss KM,
Okay.
ikaw ang mag-explain. Paano kung gusto nilang magpa-commission ng alcohol ink art sa iyo? Paano ang
Um,
proseso?
as of the moment po, Miss Lala, on hold because of
Yes.
for safety.
Oo.
So, pag magpapa-commission lang po, I just need to know po yung size nung piece. If hindi niyo po sure kung ano po yung gusto ninyong size, pwede niyo po akong bigyan ng measurement ng wall where you want to put it para po somehow I will have an idea on makakapag-suggest po ako kung ano po yung best size for that wall. And then it will depende po kung may naka-line up na for commission. Ayun po. It probably
Yan.
take 2 to 3 weeks po.
Yan. Pero
Kapag
for
walang
now,
mga line up.
hold po na po. Mga 9 months tayong wala po muna. Or more pa. Oo, siguro mga a year or so. Okay? So, sorry naman, hold po muna yung mga commission kung gusto nyo magpagawa. Pero at least, pwede na kayong pumila, di ba? Oo, para at least nape-prepare na ni KM in her mind paano niya gagawin, di ba? Oo. So, ayan.
Yes
So, one
po.
of our commission works, nasa community po, si Susan Sian. Ayan. So, another one po, meron pa po ba, Miss KM?
And this one
Yan.
naman po is a simple abstract po on nature's reflection. So, para po sa akin, this is, ito pong part na to, parang somehow mountains, tapos ito po yung parang reflection nung sa river or nung lake, tapos ito po yung sunrise and the trees and the nature po. So, yan po yung title niya, Nature's Reflection. This one po, yung technique po nito is I use one color at a time, tapos binublow ko lang po siya with a hair dryer. So, ito po may mixing, dito po sa part na ito, may mixing of colors. So, kapag po kasi when working with alcohol inks, wala ka po talagang control on where your inks will flow. So, yun po yung dapat i-accept when we started practicing with alcohol inks. During po ng mga first time ko po gumagamit, sobrang frustrated ako kasi I tried my very best na kontrolin kung saan po magpo-flow yung inks and kung ano yung magiging kalalabasan niya sa paper, which is hindi po talaga kakayanin. So, dapat
Pero
po
nakakagawa ka
matuto.
pa rin ng flower. Nakakagawa ka pa rin ng ganyan.
Sa flower po may mga techniques. Dapat po kasi 2023 po, I'll be holding workshops for alcohol inks. Kaso, ayun nga po. So, baka ma-move natin ng 2024.
2024
So,
na lang.
hopefully,
Huwag kayong mag-alala.
yes po.
Magkakatotoo pa rin naman yan. Hold lang. Hindi naman siya canceled forever. Hold
Yes
lang.
po.
Postponed lang. Ayan. So, this kind of painting, Miss KM, anong size niyan? And how long does it take for you to actually, sabi mo, 2 to 3 weeks, no? So, anong size yung 2 to 3 weeks na yon?
Kaya po siya, Miss Lala, 2 to 3 weeks kasi po I only work on weekends. And yun, after po ng drying time is yung varnishing. So, minsan po, kailangan kasi maganda yung weather. Kasi po, since humid sa atin sa Philippines, it affects on how yung alcohol inks nagda-dry dun sa synthetic paper. So, minsan po kapag humid, nagkakaroon siya ng water bubbles, which is hindi po maganda dun sa paper. So,
So,
through time
dapat hindi
na-discover,
umuulan. Dapat
yes
hindi
po, o
umuulan.
kaya po chine-check po yung humidity.
Okay.
Yes,
So, dapat
para
mga
po,
60, wag masyadong 75, 80, wag ganon.
yes po, opo.
Ayan. Okay, galing. So, again, kaya yung time frame hindi masabi, no? Oo.
Yes.
So, sabi, parang Dungeons and Dragons daw, sabi ni Giga Art. And have you tried futuristic theme daw, sabi ni Wims?
Hindi pa, pero
Hindi pa.
I'm not sure. I have a couple of pieces, pero hindi ko sure kung futuristic siya.
Futuristic. Oo nga, parang iniisip
Opo.
ko nga, parang pwedeng pumasok eh. Nice alcohol ink, sabi ni Miss Wims. Ayan.
Thank
So, continue
you.
lang po natin. Oo, meron pa bang ibang sample ng alcohol? Most of this, wala
Yes.
na sa'yo, no, KM? Wala na. Ano na to?
Apo.
Oo. Kasi pag
Apo. This one,
na-exhibit, nabibili eh. Oo.
yes, or pa-commission po talaga
Pa-commission.
siya sa akin. Ayan. So, this one po is, Beyond the Clouds. This is commissioned po ng cousin ko for my late auntie. So, ayan. Po yun sa house nila. And then, this one po is Metamorphosis.
Parang
Ayan.
butterfly, na
Yes, na para siyang nag-change into something from a simple, yan. So, para po mapapansin nyo dito sa part na to, parang dark, doesn't know pa kung ano siya talaga. And then, dito sa part na to, nag-bloom na po siya. And you can see po yung negative space or yung white space sa mga artworks ko. Ayan. Kasi po, yun nga po yung sinasabi ko na for me, it is where my eyes and my emotions can read. So, para po dun din sa tumitingin ng artwork, hindi siya maging overwhelming for them. Ayan. So, ito pong piece na to is actually, pinost ko po siya sa isang online gallery. Nung nabili po to, tuwan-tuwa po yung owner.
Oo.
especially po yung family niya kasi po it reminds them of their memorable trip to Santorini. So nung nag-share po siya sa akin ng photos, once na po nahang na po siya sa wall, katabi po siya ng mga family photos nila sa Santorini, which is very
Oh,
nakaka-touch
'di
kasi po
ba?
parang yes, they welcome you into their homes, into their
Oo.
lives. Ayan.
Oh,
Tapos
'di
ito po
ba?
yung isa,
So nagkakaroon
ayan,
ang ganda. Ayan, pwedeng futuristic ang peg, 'di ba?
yun, opo.
Oo.
So, I forgot na po the title, pero this one po is sold already.
Oo.
Ayan.
Wala na pong natira. Okay.
This one po is actually mixed media po. I use
Ah,
alcohol inks, mixatives, acrylic paints, and ano pa nga po ba? Ay, yun lang pa.
grabe ang ganda, KM. Gusto ko 'yan. Alright, meron pa ba? Grabe,
Meron
yung
po po.
nandiyan
Yan,
ba yung
ito po,
malaking
halos
malaki?
yan.
Ayan, ang ganda rin, oh.
Opo,
Parang ano din, parang futuristic galaxy ang peg. Oo. Tama ba ako?
yes.
Ganun ba ang ano niyan?
Opo. So, after all these po, mostly po kasi 9 by 12 to 12 by 12 inches lang po yung ginagawa ko. And
Mm-mm.
then, fellow crafter, dear friend of mine po,
Mm-mm.
commissioned a piece for her new home. So, nung
Mm-mm.
kausap ko po siya, she wanted a bigger size. So, hindi lang po siya yung tipong additional ng few inches. It's
Mm-mm.
actually a 3 by 6 feet.
Mm-mm.
So, I have to source pa po yung yung paper kasi po, ang meron lang po ako on hand, yung mga 12 by 12 lang.
Oo nga. So,
So,
kailangan yun isang buo eh, 'di ba? Oo.
yes po, as in isang malaking roll po yung in-order ko
Oo.
for that. Kasi po, first time ko siyang gagawin and I don't know if kakayanin ko ba siya with the techniques that I know or the
Oo.
techniques that I learned kasi malaki po yung paper eh. Kapag po kasi mga ganitong maliliit, kapag nilagay mo siya sa malaki, parang hindi na siya ganun um, ka-distinct or
Mm-mm.
makikita. Ayan. So,
Ayan
ito
na,
po yung
excited na
artwork.
kayo guys. Eto na po yung finished work. Yan.
Ayan na po. Medyo naka-side view yung
O
photo.
kasi mahaba po eh. Ayan, yan yung front.
Ayan.
Ayan.
Opo. So, this one is 3 feet by 6 feet.
Bagay na
Ayan.
bagay siya. So, when you chose the colors for this, sis, did you know that, the owner of the house is going to have like that color of a wall and then yung furnishings? Because it matched. 'Di ba?
Um,
The clean and
Actually po,
simple
marami
look of
pong
the
ano.
home with the painting. It really matched.
Yes po. I asked them po ng color combinations na gusto po nila or kung ano
Mm-mm.
po yung pinaka-theme ng bahay nila. Kasi po,
Mm-mm.
others po, parang per floor, iba-iba kasi yung theme eh. Di ba po may
Mm-mm.
ganong bahay. So, I asked them po kung saan siya ilalagay, against against what wall, at saka kung
Mm-mm.
ano po yung mga nakasurround na mga furnitures.
Mm-mm.
Um, so, for this one po, hindi lang po masyado siyang kita. Pero po kasi yung dito, yung sa table po,
Mm-mm.
champagne gold din po siya. Nagma-match po siya dun sa pinaka-frame.
Ah, okay, oo.
So,
So, champagne
yes,
gold pala
opo.
yan, hindi silver. Oo, hindi lang
Opo.
kita, pero champagne gold pala yan. Okay.
Yes po. Tapos
Wow.
medyo, ayun po, earth tones na rin po.
Oo.
I believe ko napakita ko po sa kanya yung color, yung chosen colors ko po. Tapos
Oo.
nag-agree po yata siya nun.
Yeah, I know the owner of this one eh. Kasi nga ka-community natin, 'di ba? So, when she posted that, I was like blown away, right? I know how talented KM is, but a different level talaga. Grabe, parang for KM, parang she always, palagi mong, kumbaga, yung last mo, you even surpass whatever it is you have actually accomplished already, 'di ba? Parang you'd never stop based on your current laurels. Parang kailangan 'di ba, more pa, more pa. You continuously try to learn and do more amazing things. So sabi nga dito ni Giga Art, ni Gigi. Si Gigi di po ay isang digital artist at traditional artist din po to si G. She also knows how to paint and do digital art. So sabi niya, I want to learn that. Tutorial naman dyan, Miss KM. Ayan, actually meron talaga, G, hold lang. Oo, so hold lang tayo. Hold your horses, 2024. Okay? Siguro by end of 2023, baka pwede nang mag-sign up for it. Oo, 'di ba? Oo, KM, open ang aking center for if you need a physical place to hold your classes. 'Di ba? Hopefully by then wala na tong pandemic na to, okay na tayong mag-meet face to face. 3 levels yon. Maski ilan gusto mong ipasok, kaya natin yan, okay? So, my center is always open for your classes. Ayan.
Thank you, Lala.
Yes, and Raven Fox, puro hearts, 'di ba? Golden hearts. Yes, Ian, grabe, 'di ba?
Thank you,
Isa rin po si
Ian.
Raven Fox 13, an amazing artist as well, colorist, drawing, name it. Talagang napapaligiran tayo ngayon sa chat ng napakagagaling na artists, 'di ba? Ayan. Hello yet, sabi ni Wims. Gaganda ng kulay, nakakasosyal. Oo nga. Again, sabi nga ni KM, when she makes commission work, talagang inaalam niya, pati pala yung furniture, pati yung theme, 'di ba? Oo. So, and she works hand in hand with the owner. So, if ever you are going to have her create a commission work, so ganun po yung proseso niya. And sigurado namang hindi kayo, para matutuwa kayo, hindi kayo madi-disappoint. So there, that's the word. Ayan. So again, thank you so much, Miss KM, for joining us tonight. Nabitin ba kayo, guys? Oo, kasi gusto niyo pa. Meron pa ba tayong may papakita pa tayo, Miss KM? Baka meron pa after this?
Um, Wait lang po. I
Yan.
turned some of my practice sheets or yung mga scraps ko po into cards. So, ayan po. Alcohol ink
Yan.
background din po
Are
yan.
these cards for sale?
Nabigay ko na po yata yan.
Wala. Sorry po. If gusto nyo
Don't
din po,
worry.
next 2024 na lang po. Pero paano pag yung
Ayan.
mga clean and simple lang, Miss KM? Kasi I know that, making card sets, lalo na like for the holidays, that was part of your business in the past. So, in 2023, how about yung cards lang po? Mixed media, card sets, ganyan. Pwede po bang magpagawa ng commission work?
Yes po. I
Okay.
actually, sometimes po, pag may mga collaboration po with other local stores or local
Mm-mm.
mga uh, craft resellers po, I joined their mga yearly anniversary collaboration kit, mga ganun po.
Mm-mm.
So, sometimes po I created multiples po ng isang card so I can mass produce din po.
Okay, ayan. So kasi 'di ba, sometimes 'di ba KM, it's so hard to give gifts, whether it be the holidays, birthday, anniversaries, to people who somehow are difficult to give gifts to for whatever reason, or sometimes they have everything, 'di ba? But creating a handmade card set, 'di ba, is always something that is welcome. 'Di ba? And it's one of a kind, di nila mabibili kung saan 'yan, 'di ba? Oo. So if you are wanting to have those kinds of gifts, so open pa naman si KM for those kinds of commission works. Ang hindi lang po pwede yung alcohol ink art kasi nga for safety reason at this stage hindi siya pwede. Oo. So KM, so saan kanila, where can they reach out to you if they want to buy something, see some of your works or order something? So saan sila pupunta? Amongst your social, saan kanila ko contact?
They can contact me po via Facebook or Instagram at KM Heartmade po.
Ayan. Opo. So guys, KM Heartmade. And again, if you are not yet following, sabi nga ni Giga Art, road to 1,000 subscribers na po tayo sa YouTube. Okay, so please head on to her YouTube channel, KM Heartmade. Watch a bit of our videos and then don't forget to subscribe and like as well. Ayan, meron pa palang available.
This is actually 12 by 12 po na artwork. Tapos hindi ko siya gusto as a whole, so I chop it as card fronts. For this po, I will not put any sentiments para po if ever the receiver wants to put it or display it sa desk, put it inside the frame, yan, pwede po.
Oo. Oo, pwede na po bang akin na yan? Sold to me? Unahan ko na kayo, guys. Oo, alam ko nang gagawin nyo eh. Sorry. Ako na, una na ako. Naka-live, recorded. Okay, ako na po yan. Mine, sold to me. Okay,
Sold
usap
po.
na lang tayo. Oo, guys, sorry. Kasi isang taon
And
bago magkaroon ulit ng ganyan. Ayan. Oy, di ba magkakaroon na ako ng KM artwork? Oo, bis kaya mag-usap tayo mamaya. Paano yan? Alright guys, so hindi naman po kailangan pwede din pong mixed media, pwede din clean and simple. Again, pwede po yung pag-usapan kung anong order nyo, anong size, ilang piraso. Ayan, naunahan kayo ni Lala. Oo, alam ko na, kilala ko na kayo guys. So, kailangan lang pabilisan to. Oo, since ako ang nakasampa, sorry! Oo, meron pa namang opportunity. Give it a year. You'll have your turn, guys. Alright, again, KM, thank you so much. Okay,
thank you,
so sabi ko nga,
everyone.
saving the best for last. Oh, diba? Ending the year with KM Heartmade as my dear guest. And I hope this is not gonna be the last KM. And again, congratulations sa mga blessings for 2022 and prayers for more in 2023. Okay, with that, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, KM. And guys, I have a special crafty session tomorrow. Mabilis lang. I want to end the year with faith journaling. Okay, that's gonna be tomorrow, 11 a.m. That is in collaboration with one of my partner stores, Papel at iba pa. And of course, ang aking maliit na parang awarding ceremony. Ayan, meron akong pa-award. Oo, sa community. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. naman po yan. And of course, some fun and games to celebrate the ending of the ending of the year and the welcoming of the new year. Ayan. Thank you so much again, KM. Bye
Thank you, Miss Lala.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Happy New
Bye-bye.
Year!
Happy New Year. Again, thank you so much for joining me and KM tonight, and I hope that you had as much fun as we both did. See you again tomorrow, 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Bye!